everyone, welcome to another unboxing video of Genesys Cloud release notes. Today we're going to be covering the February release notes. I'm Edgar Quadra. Today I will be doing this video solo. My other team members are busy on other projects. So let's get right into it. So for the first few, again, remember the new format is I'm just trying to showcase some of the key ones for the month of February. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is API platform limit event alert. Now this is very technical, and it's like, why am I showing this at here? Reason why is, especially when it comes to an environment that has a lot of integrations. I'm actually working on a project like that right now. Being able to get events and alerts on the actual the rate and the usage around the APIs is going to be kind of critical in the design and any future improvements to that particular integration or all the overall integrations you have. So it's a very nice feature that's been added, and to be able to do that, there's various areas. I know that also there is a new performance view that you can monitor your API limits and view and performance. So it's a very added nice feature for the month of February. Okay, next one here, again, it's another a little bit technical one. Improved on-demand messenger launcher visibility. So previously with the current Genesys widget that lives on your desktop on the website, when the launcher when the website would reload or navigate to a different page, it would kind of look like the launcher was kind of reloading itself, and then it would kind of had to re-render what was in that particular widget. But now with this new improvement here, when someone navigates to a different website, or they change their or they reload or change to a different website there, that experience and that actual visual of it look like it's reloaded doesn't happen. It kind of stays on screen, and it's just more pleasant experience to be with. So it's just a nice improvement to the chat experience here. Okay, next one here is active total callback column in the performance view. So there's been a change on how Genesys, the particular metric when it comes to callbacks within Genesys Cloud. And so with this change, first there's a new column that we can see active total callbacks, but how it's being calculated is the actual handle time. So when the callback gets presented and then the agent has to click on dial out the call, maybe, and they can kind of see the interaction before they actually hit dial, that time for the agent to dial out is no longer incorporated in the actual calculation of callbacks. Now it's literally only the time on the line between the caller and the agent that gets calculated. So if I go over to Genesys Cloud here, and we pop to one of the performance views that has that available, so interactions is one of them. You can see I have the active total column, and it's just under the metric section of that. So active total callouts. You can also find it under the queues activities and add it to there. Okay. All right, so that's a new metric for just to add to your reporting suite of within the contact center. Okay, let's move on here to utterance, export utterance history data from architect bot flows and digital bot flows. So what the heck does that mean? So when it comes to bot design, when someone types in a keyword, or you provide, let's say, that intent menu, by intent menu I mean when you're interacting with the bot, it gives you a list of actions to do or to guide you through the particular flow of the bot. Well, if you give the option, you design it so someone can type in, are you here for customer service? Yes or no, or why are you here for? If you design it for your customers to have free range in typing that in, those utterances or those different nuances or different type of keywords that they type in to get to the next stage of the bot flow, that history can be exported now via the UI within the architect flow. That was only previously available through API, but now being able to export that, jump into CSV file, run some analytics techniques against that in Excel or some other BI tool, and then design that back into the architect flow. Just a nice little feature there when it comes to bot design within the platform. Okay, let's move on now to the next week here, February 14th. Just gonna give this a little expand here. And the first one here, enhanced pacing control in dialer campaigns. So this is a pretty unique one here. And so what this is now is you can, by certain increments, you can adjust how the pacing of those calls that are going to be dialed within the particular campaign when it comes to predictive and power dialing modes. So with this particular new feature here, it does give us a bit more adjustments to maybe fine-tuning the abandonment rate. Maybe we're dialing too fast and we don't have the logic that's built into these campaigns, might not be able to keep up with dropping the customer, dropping the call. Obviously, these are industry standard techniques to between power and predictive to minimize that abandonment rate. But if you do, everything is fine-tuned, and if we're still having a high abandonment rate, we can start fine-tuning the pacing of those calls to get those abandonment rates down to something that is more passable from a business perspective. Okay. Co-browse for voice via Messenger and deploy Messenger without web messaging. These two go hand in hand. What's available now, and if the audience doesn't know what co-browse particular means, is on your website you can launch a piece of code. So the Messenger piece of code that can go on your website here, and when your customers are calling into your contact center and they're on the website and they're either asking for help or they're trying to do an order or something, they're interacting with the website and they have one of your agents on the line, the agent can go ahead, okay, Mr. Customer, let me actually see what you're looking at on the website. And we can initiate, the agent or the customer can initiate a co-browse session. This now actually renders the website in the Genesys environment for the agent to see. They can actually annotate and click on the website, and the customer will actually be able to see where the agent is clicking. So that's co-browse. But now you could do that with the web messaging portion of it, but now we can do it for voice. So it just opens up a new avenue for support for the customers via the phone channel. And then the next one here is being able to deploy just the code without having to deploy the little chat widget. You can just deploy the code to enable co-browse. So really a great feature, customer service feature that should definitely be looked at. If you are a GC2, if you do have GC2 licensing right now, and you can go ahead and enable that from a business case perspective. It makes a ton of sense, especially if you have a lot of website traffic or a lot of your support calls are driven from your website. Definitely, let's take a look at that, deploy it. Either contact us or your partner to go ahead and deploy that, or you can read the documentation on how that's done as well. Okay. All right, moving down here. Enhanced external contact data access controls for agents. So what this means here is when a customer, well, let's step back a little bit here. Customer journeys. So Genesys Cloud has this feature where it tracks all the interactions within the Genesys environment and then maps it in a nice little customer journey kind of mapping. And if your particular org has multiple divisions set up, when a customer goes, or when an agent tries to go and view that customer journey data, they will only see the customer journey data when they were in their particular division. So let's say you have a billing division, you have a customer service division, you have a support division. If the customer is interacting with all those divisions on your particular in your business through your contact center, then the billing agent will only see the billing customer journey and so forth and so forth. So it's a nice little addition to the overall divisions controls within Genesys. Next one here is APIs to integrate external learning modules. This one's very exciting. I've done a bit of training in my past career, and now being able to integrate a mature LMS on site, or let's say an LMS that's been developed and it's worked on, and you have a lot of hours put into an LMS, now leveraging all that material and then using the Genesys Cloud Learning module to be able to send that particular learning data through Genesys and present it in a much more integrated environment. So what I mean by that is, here are the modules that get presented to the particular agent. These modules can be integrated and triggered from your LMS. So then all I do here is, as an agent, I'm in my environment, I receive my learning modules. You can use, and you would use the same abilities and let's say the learning module routing engine to deliver the content and to schedule it to, not schedule, but to deliver it to the agent. They receive it in their Genesys Cloud inbox, and then they actually do that learning modules directly through your LMS. I think it's a very nice, incredible feature that's been deployed in there, and lots of opportunities there for growth and for creativity to be able to use this. As Genesys kind of put here, a single pane of glass experience for managing all their content, their learning content. So very handy. Definitely look into that a lot more. It is, it does require some API work. So you do need some of the in-house kind of talent to be able to make this happen, but it's there. And I think it's definitely needed to start bringing in a lot of, or consolidating some of those good tools that have had a lot of hours spent into them. Okay. All right, so now let's move on here to the next week. And the first one here I want to highlight is submit feedback in the Genesys Tempo app. So some of you may be asking, what is the Tempo app? Well, part of the WEM feature suite, and more specifically when it comes to workforce management, Genesys has an accompanying iOS and Android app to display your scheduling, and the agent to be able to go ahead and look at do a lot of the self-serve WFM features that are in the actual the web application, but be able to do that remotely and on the mobile experience. But what this feature does is, and if there's been a lot of feedback from your agent saying, hey, the tool isn't doing this, or it is doing well this, well, let's go ahead and capture that. So now there's this submit feature feedback in here, and this is something that can be used and it's reported back to within the environment. But you can go ahead and, what did you do? They can provide feedback on this. Yes, I did accomplish this. Great. And then you can go ahead and submit that. This kind of gives feedback around the Tempo app to be able to respond and look at that, and just overall provide feedback for the particular app and give it a better experience for the user. Okay. So the next one here is, and this is a pretty big one here. I normally don't highlight, support for these languages, and reason why is it's constantly happening. But I think kind of thinking about more the demographic side of things here, sentiment analysis for Cantonese, Mandarin, and Taiwanese languages, I think is kind of big, where now if you do have a large user base speaking these languages, you can go ahead and leverage then sentiment analysis for that new user base. All right, now let's move on now to February 28th week of the release notes. And there's two in here that I would like to highlight. One is around scheduled callbacks. Specify queue and scheduled callback. So when an agent goes and schedules that manual callback in here, there's a new feature there to you can specify which queue you want that callback to be scheduled for. So now, first, this has to be enabled, and it's enabled at the organizational level. So this would affect everyone. If you have multiple divisions, it will affect all those divisions. But if you do decide to enable it, that will give the agent the ability to, when they schedule that callback, do we want to schedule it to a different queue or the existing queue that the call originated from? Next one here, this one is fairly interesting, and it's now when an agent has a call on the line, and if they need to add more participants to that particular ACD call, the only real way to do this, and it was kind of limited, where you would do a consult transfer, where in a consult transfer you have your customer on the line. The agent does a consult transfer either to an existing user, a Genesys Cloud user, to a queue, or to an external DID or external party. And when they would go ahead and do that, a second line would open, and only a second line. You can think of it that way. But now, when I go ahead and I want to go ahead and create a new interaction, or start or have more parties to be included in this particular call, you can go ahead and click on the interaction details. So that would be the interactions detail on the left-hand side here, and you'll now be able to add participant to click on transfer conference. This will now give you the ability to add in either a queue, an external contact, and if you do that, and then add those external contacts, you'll be able to conference them into this ACD call. Where I think that some of the use cases will be here is maybe in translation services. So if you require some translations or along those particular lines when it comes to business use cases, you can go ahead and conference in the translator. Maybe you want to transfer in a family member or conference in a family member part of it. Just think of different use cases right here. You can do that. You can have up to 20 participants in this particular ACD conference. So pretty interesting feature here when it comes to ACD calling. Okay. All right, and I think that is the end of this month's release notes for February 2024. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and listening to the release notes today. Again, I'm Edgar Quadra, Solution Consultant here at Star Telecom. Thank you for your time. Bye.